All right, Dr. Ron, we have very few facts about this case. You are a forensic analyst. You look at videos like this to determine the facts of the matter. What is your reaction? What did you see when you watched this?
Well, for full disclosure, I investigate the cases of officer-involved shootings from all sides, including the prosecution's side. In this particular case, we have a 7-second video, and 4 seconds into the video, we can see that Mr. Blake uses his left hand to reach what appears to be reaching into his waistband. Then at 5 seconds, as he gets towards the car door, he reaches into the waistband with the right hand. The officer, who is the initial shooting officer, has grabbed onto him and is trying to restrain him from getting into the vehicle. At 6 seconds, he gets into the vehicle, but not as a normal driver would get in to sit in the cockpit of the vehicle. He reaches down low into the vehicle as he's pulling away from the officer, and at that point, shots are fired. So how you analyze something like this is from the standpoint and the shoes of the officer, and we talk about the totality of circumstances. What the officers knew about Mr. Blake, or reasonably believed about Mr. Blake and his background and why they were there, is extremely important. The fact that they used officer presence, the fact that they used verbal skills, and even the less lethal weapon of the taser, all that didn't work, and Mr. Blake was continuing to be non-compliant, all goes into that totality of circumstances. If they knew that he had a warrant for his, they knew that he had a background of violent crime, including guns, and before that, he had a recent encounter with police where he charged or came very close to police and had to be subdued by a canine. All of that goes into the officer's thought pattern. What is key here is that he gets into the vehicle after making furtive and suspicious movements to the waistband and goes into the vehicle in a manner that is inconsistent with the way officers are knowledgeable about how people normally get into the vehicle. And then finally, Liz, you have to understand that officers are trained that 25% of them are injured and killed, shot and killed during domestic violence situations. This was a domestic violence call initially. And then also 25% are injured or killed in car stops. And this becomes a person going into a car, which police are trained is extremely dangerous.
So when you're talking about the inconsistency with the way that someone would climb into a driver's seat in order to operate a vehicle, are you insinuating that it's possible that the police could have interpreted it as he was reaching for a weapon underneath the seat?
Yeah, I think that's the logical conclusion that an officer might drive. And then don't forget, when we take a look at the temporal relationship or the timing, the officer that's the shooting officer makes that decision to use deadly force in 1 second, between second number 6 and second number 7. That's when the first shot is fired at second and number 7. And so 1 second to make a determination after everything that they've experienced as to whether Mr. Blake's actions are consistent with possibly retrieving a weapon or doing something else.